The first time anyone noticed something was wrong, it was already too late. The church was full that night. People were clapping, singing, crying. Some said they felt miracles in the air. Others said they saw light around the altar. But no one saw the shadow standing quietly behind it. His name was Pastor Daniel. He spoke softly, calm voice, gentle smile. The kind of man you trusted the moment you saw him. He knew the right words to say, the right prayers to pray. When he looked at you, it felt like he could see your pain and heal it. That was how it started. Daniel arrived in the small town like a blessing. The place was struggling, no jobs, sickness, broken families. People were desperate for hope. And Daniel gave them exactly that. He opened a church and called it the House of Light. At first, it was normal. Sunday services, Bible teachings, prayers for healing. And then, the miracles began. A sick woman claimed she was healed after one prayer. A man who had been jobless for years suddenly found work. A child who couldn't speak started talking. People believed. They didn't just believe. They trusted him completely. But there was one person who wasn't convinced. Her name was Mary. Mary had lost her mother years ago. And she had learned to be careful with people who seemed too perfect. She attended the church, but she watched more than she spoke. Something about Pastor Daniel felt wrong. She noticed small things. The way he sometimes paused mid-sermon, as if listening to someone no one else could hear. The strange symbols carved quietly into the back of the altar. The way certain members of the church were always called for special prayers at night, and came back different. Quieter. Colder. Almost empty. Mary tried to ignore it. Everyone else was happy. Her friends were deeply involved now. Even her brother, John, had joined the inner group of the church. "You worry too much," John told her one evening. "Pastor Daniel is a good man. He's helping people." But Mary couldn't shake the feeling. One night, she decided to find out the truth. The church was dark when she returned. The main doors were locked, but she found a side entrance slightly open. Her heart pounded as she slipped inside. The air felt different. Heavy. Like something was watching her. She moved slowly, quietly, until she heard voices. Whispers. Coming from beneath the altar. Mary froze. There was a hidden door she had never seen before. It was slightly open, and a faint red light glowed from below. Her hands trembled as she stepped closer. And then as she looked inside, what she saw made her blood run cold. The room beneath the church was not a place of prayer. It was a ritual chamber. Strange symbols covered the walls. Candles burned with dark flames. And in the center, Pastor Daniel stood, dressed in a black robe. Around him were members of the church, including John. They were kneeling, chanting. But it wasn't any language Mary knew. It sounded ancient. Wrong. Daniel raised his hands and the room fell silent. Then he spoke. "Tonight," he said softly, "we give thanks to the one who gave us power." A low sound filled the room. Not human. Not natural. Mary's breath caught in her throat. The shadows on the wall began to move on their own. And then she saw it. A shape forming behind Daniel. Tall. Dark. With glowing eyes that burned like fire. Mary stumbled back, her heart racing. She almost screamed, but she covered her mouth just in time. This wasn't a church. It was a cult. And Pastor Daniel was leading it. Suddenly, Daniel stopped speaking. Slowly, he turned his head. Straight toward the door. Straight toward Mary. For a moment, their eyes met. And Mary knew. He saw her. "Bring her," Daniel said calmly. Everything happened fast. Hands grabbed her from behind. Members she once knew. People she had laughed with, prayed with, dragged her into the chamber. John was among them. "John, please," she cried. "It's me." But his eyes were empty. "There is no turning back," he said quietly. Mary struggled, but they forced her to her knees in front of Daniel. Up close his smile was gone. His face looked different. Darker. "You should not have come here," he said. Mary shook with fear, but she found her voice. "This is evil," she said. "These people trust you." Daniel leaned closer. "They came to me broken," he whispered. "I gave them power. I gave them purpose." "That thing," Mary said, her voice trembling. "What is it?" Daniel smiled again, but this time it was not gentle. It is the truth, he said. The shadow behind him grew larger. The candles flickered violently. Mary felt something cold wrap around her, like invisible chains. Daniel raised his hand. She will join us, he said. Or she will be the offering. The room echoed with whispers. Mary closed her eyes. She thought of her mother, of the life she had, of the people who were being deceived. And then she did something no one expected. She spoke. Not loudly, not fearfully, but firmly. No. The room went silent. Daniel frowned. You have no choice, he said. Mary opened her eyes. Yes, she said. Ido. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small cross, her mother's cross. I may not be strong, she said, her voice shaking but steady. But I am not alone. The moment the cross was raised, everything changed. The shadow screamed. A terrible, piercing sound that shook the walls. The candles burst. The symbols on the walls began to crack. Daniel stepped back, his calm breaking for the first time. What have you done? He shouted. Mary stood up, the invisible chains gone. Light seemed to push back the darkness. John fell to the ground, gasping, as if waking from a nightmare. The other members screamed, covering their eyes. The shadow behind Daniel twisted violently. And then, it vanished. Just like that. Gone. The room fell into silence. Daniel dropped to his knees. No, he whispered. No, no, no. Mary looked at him, not with fear, but with sadness. It's over, she said. But Daniel slowly began to laugh. Soft at first, then louder. You think this is over? He said, looking up at her with burning eyes. This was only the beginning. Before anyone could react, he collapsed. Dead. No wound. No sign. Just gone. The police came the next day. The church was shut down. The underground chamber was destroyed. The members slowly returned to normal, though many could not remember what they had done. John never fully forgave himself. And Mary? She left the town. Some say she still carries the cross. Some say she still fights things people don't understand. But one thing is certain. The House of Light was never just a church. And Pastor Daniel was never just a pastor. Because sometimes, the most dangerous evil doesn't come looking like a monster. It comes smiling, waiting for you to trust it.